Hello everybody, my name is Juliana Silva. I am a software engineer specialized in generative AI and automation, and today I'm going to be showing you a finance bot that I built using n8n and DeepSeek. Essentially what the bot does is it extracts an invoice as a PDF attachment from your email, and then it extracts the text from that PDF and passes that text to an AI agent. The AI agent will then extract the key fields from the text and log it into a Google Sheets. And this can be used for your personal finances, it can be used for your company or whatever workflow that you have that needs somebody to do manual data entry from a document into a sheet. After the bot is done inputting the key fields of your invoice into the Google Sheet, it will also send an email notifying you of the additions it just made. You could also make the bot notify your entire team that there was this addition to the Google Sheet so that they can be aware that there is new information in the sheets. Now let's get started. The first thing that I need to do is obviously run n8n. I have n8n here installed locally on my machine. So now let's press 0 or press O to open. And now we have my n8n dashboard, and the receipt extraction bot is the workflow that we want to look at. Okay, so this is our entire finance bot, and I will explain what each node does and how they connect with each other so that you could understand how this entire workflow works. The first thing that we need to look at is the trigger. The trigger is the whatever event that makes our workflow start running. In our case, it is when we receive an email with our invoice PDF attachment, and that will just trigger the entire workflow to start. So when we come here and then we look at Gmail and then we have our credentials attached, you do need to do a little bit of setting up for this, but once you're done, this is what you have. You do need to have this not enabled because we want to download the attachment from the email. And here is where you specify your filters to identify an email that should trigger this workflow. In our case, I do want an email from this specific sender. I want it to have an attachment, and I want it to have invoice written in the subject. So whenever I receive an email from this email that has an attachment and that has the word invoice in the subject, the workflow will be triggered. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna send an email saying invoice test. So here it is. This is an invoice from Amazon as a PDF, and then I'm gonna send this email to the email that is set up here. And now what I can do is fetch test event to retrieve the email that I just sent. Here you go. n8n successfully downloaded the PDF attachment. Here's the file name, PDF. And now we can move on to the next step. So for this step, we want to download that PDF to our local machine because we will be using Poplar, which is a PDF text extraction tool, and that will be running locally on our computer. So we do need the file to be stored locally, and this is what this node does. So this node will be responsible for downloading the attachment we just extracted from the email and saving it to a local folder on our machine. What we need to do is we can run this step and check if this file was downloaded to this folder on our local machine. So this is the folder. As we can see, we don't have the invoice Amazon melatonin PDF. And now let's run this step and see. Okay, so it was successful, and now let's check. Here it is. So n8n just downloaded the file, invoice attachment to our machine. Now is where we're gonna run the command to use Poplar. So Poplar has the ability to extract text from a PDF, just raw text, and this is exactly what we're going to do here. We have the Poplar command here, pdf to text.exe, and then the path to our file, and you can see here that this is exactly where we saved the PDF we just downloaded, and this will give us a text output, and if we want this step, we will see the text output right here. So let's do it. So here it is. We do have all the text extracted from the PDF attachment, and that text will be fed into this AI agent, and the AI agent will be responsible for extracting the key fields from that text into the Google Sheet. Okay, so now we've arrived to the AI agent part of our workflow, and let's see. Here we have the text that we just extracted from the PDF, and here we're gonna need to do some prompt engineering in order to instruct our AI agent to do the specific tasks that we wanted to do, which are extract the key fields from the invoice, insert them into the Google Sheets, and then at the end we wanted to send an email to us or to whoever it is to notify of this new row that was added to the Google Sheet. So for the prompt, we're gonna go to ChatGPT and ask it to write a prompt for us. What I like to do is I like to add an invoice as an example, just to give more context to ChatGPT. So now let's start writing some context. Create a prompt such as the extract name, currency, and total amount. AI agent will extract JSON format. Okay, so I think that we have a pretty decent prompt here, and the key fields that we want to extract: order number, invoice date, product name, currency, and total amount. Those are the fields that we already have in the Google Sheets. This is a Google Sheets I created for this specific workflow, and here we have order number, invoice date, product name, currency, total amount, just like we specified here. And now let's see what prompt ChatGPT will give us. Okay, seems good. So now we copy this. We can just paste the prompt we just copied in the user message. If you want to look at full screen, here it is. And we can test and see what output we're gonna have with this prompt. So we can also enable this just to make sure that we get JSON, although we specified it here, but we can also specify that we want in a specific output format. So let's run this and see what is the output that we get. Oh, okay. So what happened here was that I gave it the prompt, but I did not link this output to be used here in the prompt. So what the AI agent said is that I understood your instructions and then provide an invoice text, because I did not provide it here. So let's add that right here. And then we're gonna link the text right here, JSON std out. As you can see, std out is the output we have here, and now it is linked here and should fix this problem. Let's see. Okay, here it is. We do have it does have some formatting errors, but that would be no problem for an AI agent. But yeah, we fixed the problem. This is what needed to be added here, and we're ready to go to the next step. Now that we have our key fields extracted from the invoice, we want to add them to our Google Sheets. For the Google Sheet, it is the same as the Gmail. You do need to do some auth to get credentials. we want to append the row, and this is the sheet that we want, the receipts. Oops, sorry. And this is the sheet page that we want. And in here we want to map each column manually, and then this is where there is the difference by using the AI agent, because we don't need to exactly specify what is the key field that should be added under order number. We can just let the model define it, and this is where the LLM will be able to interpret the data and add to each respective column. Now the final node that we're going to look at is, after everything is done, the AI agent will send an email to us informing us of what was added to our Google Sheet. And let's see, we do have again our credentials here, a message, and then we want to send, and here you specify an email that you want the AI agent to send the email to. The subject here, you could specify yourself, but then you can also let the model decide. And I believe now we can run the entire workflow and check if our AI agent will append a new row here, giving us information about our melatonin. So let's see, let's execute the workflow. Okay, everything ran. AI agent, the agent is thinking. I didn't even talk about this, but we do need, of course, we need an LLM model to be the brain of this operation. And then for this, I'm using DeepSeek, because DeepSeek is really cost effective, and for this sort of operation it's pretty straightforward, so we can use DeepSeek simplest model. Here you would need the API for this, but DeepSeek is super cheap, so you can just put a few dollars in there and it will last you for a lifetime. So yeah, I forgot to talk about this, but we use DeepSeek as the brain of our AI agent. It seems that it ran successfully. Let's check. Okay, here it is. Yeah, the AI agent has logged successfully the information from the invoice. But now I want to check also if I received an email from the agent. Okay, so it seems here that the email node was not called, and I know exactly why that is. It's because I did not specify, and I did not instruct the AI agent to send an email after everything that is done. So let's do that now. So after encoding the key sheet of what you just added and the specific details of added. Okay, so this is what was missing. It is because I did not tell the AI agent that it needed to send an email at the end of everything, so of course it did not send the email. But now with this new instruction added to the prompt, we can execute the workflow and we will receive an email afterwards. So let's do it. We can see that the DeepSeek is thinking. Now it is appending the information to our Google Sheet. It is thinking again, and now it should be triggering the Gmail node. Let's see. Okay, the Gmail node was successfully triggered. Now we should receive the email containing the information we just instructed the AI agent to send us. So yeah, you can see that there is a duplicate here because we just ran the workflow with the same invoice again. So now let's check. Here it is. Yeah, hello, I have just successfully added a new invoice data, and then the details, and then yes, this is what we wanted, new invoice data added to Google Sheets. And this was the entire run through of the workflow. And now there is one more thing that I would like to show you. Let's save everything, of course. You can see the workflow here is inactive, so our trigger wasn't actually getting triggered because we were manually executing the workflow. But now if I set the receipt extraction bot as active, if I send an email with an invoice to my email, the workflow should be triggered automatically, and we should have a new row here without having to execute our workflow manually, which is the entire point of this bot, is that it should work without us doing anything manually to it. It should work in the background doing automated repetitive tasks for us. So now let's try sending a new invoice. So invoice final, and now let's insert a different invoice. So this is a different one than the one we were working with. So now let's send, and now that our workflow is active, we should have a newly added row here without us having to do anything, because we set up the Gmail trigger to check each minute for new emails. So each minute it keeps looking at our email. See, it just arrived, and yes, it is working perfectly, because yes, the Gmail each minute checks for new emails that will satisfy our condition of having an attachment and the subject line containing the word invoice. And as you can see, it just magically appeared on the Google Sheets, and this is how the finance bot should work. It should work on the background. It should save us time, and this is a sheet that will constantly be updated as long as the workflow is active. And this is how the finance bot works. It should be working in the background and saving dozens, if not hundreds of hours from your team weekly, and eliminating the need to have somebody do manual data entry. You can just delegate that to the AI agent with very little cost. Each call is like a fraction of a cent, so you put a couple bucks there, and it will last you for a really long time, and this will save you hours of your employees' time. So yeah, this is the workflow, and it is a pretty simple one, but it does save you a lot of time, even in your personal life or inside your company, and it is a very, very valuable asset. And this is just an example of how powerful n8n is as an automation tool.